Hello, everyone. You're listening to Game Rivals, a podcast where a Nintendo fan and a PlayStation fan talk about the latest games and happenings in the gaming community and industry. I'm one of your hosts, Maximilian X, and together with Sean Templar, we bring you this bi weekly podcast about video games. And welcome to another episode of Game Rivals. I am one of your hosts, Maximilian X, and today, as always, with me, the lovely, the talented, the PlayStation fanboy.
John Templar, and a proud PlayStation fanboy I am.
yeah, yeah, good times, man. So, how have you been, Sean Templar?
As you might hear based on my voice, I've caught a cold, but besides that, I'm okay. How
That
have you
makes two of
been?
us. Yeah, also caught a little bit of the cold there. That's what you get when you have to stand outside for multiple hours with barely any clothing.
I don't know what people are going to think of kind of job you do, but maybe best not to go into details.
It's not weird. It's not
You just made it
standing
sound
in front.
weird.
It's not standing in front of a strip club or anything.
Oh God, please just get on with the show.
All right, so you guys, this is gonna be a very special episode. We're gonna start things off with our news segment, as we always do. But this week is gonna be extra special because we're going to be talking about a new state of play that will have dropped, and we'll tell you all the details that we get to learn about The Last of Us Part 2. After that, we're going to talk about, of course, what we've been playing. And as always, we end our episode with a good helping of hidden gems. So, Sean Templar, let's go on into the news.
Oh yeah. Alrighty, so first up for the news, there's
Mm-hmm.
something really interesting that happened this week, which was that Creative Assembly teased a new Total War game, even though they recently brought out a Total War game. Um,
Yeah, the one you played where you conquered China.
yes, yes. Oh, I loved it. So what they did is they announced a new Total War game in what they call the Total War Saga. So how they work is you have the big Total War games such as Rome Total War or Total War Three
Mm-hmm.
Kingdoms or Warhammer Total War. And then there are these smaller games that fit into the saga, which are a bit more focused on a specific era or on a specific kind of storyline. So they did that
Oh,
with the one that's based around Britannia, so in the Viking era in Great Britain in the past. So
and there
there's
was one
one.
about that?
Sorry.
There was one about that?
Yeah, they did that. I think 2 years ago. That it focused
Oh,
solely on the barbarian campaign, so you played with barbarians. I really didn't play that one because I didn't feel the time. But this one is really cool. This one is called Total War Troy, I believe, and it's set in the Trojan War.
okay.
And they've shown a little CG trailer. They've shown the size of the map, which looks really big, and they've hinted at that it might even include mythical creatures and gods, as in the mythology from that era. And it's also supposed to be or they're hinting at that it might be a what if scenario because heroes are included as well. So you have Achilles, for example, and you have Hector of Troy, and they hinted at that in history, Achilles killed Hector, that Hector might survive, or that Hector might even kill Achilles.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
so
I'm actually seeing the Steam page here. It says Troy, a Total War Saga.
yeah, Troy Total War Saga. Yeah, and it's gonna come out next year. They're gonna do some things different. The economy system is also gonna be based around, for example, a mechanic around bartering, so that you have to trade things with each other instead of um, just
Killing each
killing
other.
each other. There's not a lot of known about it, but it's cool that it's coming out. I really like the that era, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Hmm.
Um, besides that, yeah, we just have to wait and see for them to show us more.
Okay. Cool.
Do you have
Awesome.
anything before we move on to a nice surprise that dropped on us this week?
Um. Well, there were a bunch of stuff. Oh. We're gonna talk. I'm gonna talk about a little bit about it in what we've been playing, but it's nice to mention it here as well. Um, the Switch Lite dropped this past week.
Yes.
The reviews are in, and it's actually pretty positive.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I think I think I mentioned this offline. I saw a teardown video around the Joy-Cons, and it was the old Joy-Con that suffered from drift.
Yeah, that is unfortunately
Yeah, so
true.
I kind of wonder what's going to happen if I get drift. I'm going to have to ship my whole Switch out to Nintendo, and then they have
That's
to replace
basically
my whole.
it because it's a whole unit now, so
Yeah,
can't just ship the Joy Cons.
yeah,
But you can always connect it with a wireless controller like other Joy Cons or a Pro controller.
yeah, yeah. I guess I don't know. I like the form factor. I think
I mean,
it.
for $200, you're getting a good value.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, for it's a great entry price, and it's as you said. I think it's the ultimate Pokemon machine. So I think
Oh,
they're gonna push a
definitely.
lot of units in the Christmas and the holiday
If
season.
if I mean, I don't think they're gonna have like any kind of specific Black Friday deals for this,
Hmm.
but if retailers are worth their salt in any capacity, they will bundle the crap out of the Switch Lite.
I think there will be maybe Nintendo will even come out with a Pokemon bundle. You know, a special themed Pokemon
They
Switch.
announced they announced a special version, a special Pokemon version of the Switch Lite when they announced the Switch Lite.
Oh,
So we know that that's coming in November, uh, October.
Pokemon's coming out in November.
Yeah, Pokemon itself is coming out in November. A month earlier, the special edition Switch Lite Sword and Shield is coming out then, but it doesn't include the game, obviously.
Do I get a
It's just
download game or is it just a skin?
I think it's just the special edition, like no doubt. At least they just announced that it exists and that it's coming.
Hmm.
I don't think they said any other details except for that. I don't even think that it has a release date, unless I'm wrong. Could
Well,
be,
we'll have to wait and see.
yeah. But the downside is, of course, with the Joy Cons that there might be drift, and people are already making statements that they're already experiencing drift.
With the Switch Lite,
Yeah, yeah, that just dropped recently.
but doesn't drift occur due to wear and tear?
You would think so, yeah. So I'm not sure how it's happening to these people, but yeah, there's been multiple people reporting on Reddit stating that they're experiencing posting videos of that they're experiencing it. But to be fair, you could technically fake drifting by connecting it to Joy-Cons that have the drift.
Yeah, because how would Nintendo verify that you have drift so they can fix it? They have to physically be able to reproduce it, probably.
Well, that too, but considering that the thing is within warranty because, they just came out last Friday, um it I don't think that I don't think that it matters. At least I'm not sure if it even would matter if it if they said that they experienced it or not. So, yeah, I don't know.
Well, we'll have to wait and see on what happens with it.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Um Not that I can think of right now.
Okay.
No.
Well, then let's talk about the nice surprise that dropped on us.
Yes, a state of play. It's been
Yes.
a while.
Yes.
And I'm going to get this out of the way because I know it's going to ruffle your feathers, but
Uh,
it is the undisputed truth. So they redesigned the state of play presentation. And oh my goodness, could there be any more Nintendo Direct like?
I wouldn't say that. Like, I didn't get the Japanese feeling that I got with the direct.
No, because this is based off the Nintendo Directs that are purely just when they announce titles and they don't have anything big to show.
Okay. Well, I like the pacing
So
because
it's
they
so it's
said,
basically so it's basically the news strip thing.
hmm,
It was literally that, except it's in PlayStation Blue.
let me put it this way. I liked it that they said it's gonna last 20 minutes and they went through it really quickly. And I was only looking forward to one announcement, which I got. I'll talk about in a minute. And I really didn't care about the other stuff, but I liked the snappiness of it. It was like bop 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 bop. And here the last thing is okay, happy days, enjoy, and we'll see you next time.
Well, the only real interesting thing they talked about was, of course, the new game from the maker of Katamari Damacy,
Get out of
which
here.
I
Nobody
honestly I
cares
don't
about that.
like. The name is kind of weird, and I kind of don't remember the name real quickly off the top of my head. But yeah, that looked actually kind of like a lot of fun.
It had a lot
I
of
like that
indie
type of
focus.
stuff.
Some indie focus, some VR focus.
Yeah, what was up with that first game, Humanity,
Yeah, it
though?
looked really strange. And it looked like
I'm
they
not.
had move controllers in their hands, zapping and shooting.
Yeah, at a certain point, it does look like they have move controllers. At another point, they have balls. At another point, they have lightsaber-like stuff in their hands. It's all weird.
Yeah. So yeah, so
Not really sure what kind of game it is. Coming out 2020, and it has optional PlayStation VR support.
yeah.
It almost seems tech demo-y.
Yeah, kind of like look how many people we can get on the screen.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
but the real thing that you wanted to talk about was LA Noir VR files.
oh, definitely. Yeah, I'm so happy that that dropped today.
Yeah,
I just
also the
jumped up in
first
my
case of
chair.
shadow dropping for State of Play. Very nice.
Yeah. They also shadow
Yeah,
dropped the medieval demo.
yeah.
Yeah.
I actually want to check that out. I
Yeah,
hope I
me
have
too.
enough space on my hard drive.
Yeah. And Civilization 6 is coming to PS4 in November. I didn't expect that one.
Which is kind of funny considering that it's already out on Switch. The only downside is that the PlayStation 4 version is getting the expansion pack, so I don't know if they announced that for the Switch version as well. Because they did say that they were looking into it, but don't I haven't seen any reporting on it since they said that. So
Hmm. Did you see the really stylish game called Arise?
yeah,
I like that one. It looked like it was
that look
something like a Viking or barbarian game in which you're apparently dead and they burn your body and then you're in the afterlife or something.
yeah, it looked
It
the
reminded me of the
look and
Firewatch style.
it kind of does look like Firewatch, but it also kind of reminded me of Journey,
Yeah, and when they
but
first
with
started with
combat.
the music, it reminded me a bit of Horizon Zero Dawn. With the music.
Yeah.
Okay, this really looks fun, and I don't think it's. He said it's a simple story, but it's an emotional journey or something like that. It's
That's right.
looking really interesting.
Oh, right. The other game that I was talking about is called Wattam.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
not a
Interest
fan
like
of those.
Arise actually looked pretty interesting, so that's good.
Yeah, and then there were
And
from some
of course,
few what you call it VR games such as Stardust Odyssey.
oh, I
I
zoned
have
out completely at that
I don't
point.
know what that is. It looked like a VR shooter slash space ship game. It's cool to see that Sony's still committed to VR. It's just not my cup of.
Yeah, neither is it mine.
Yeah,
But they did show a story trailer for Modern Warfare.
that really looked nice. But it was strange that they mixed in some CG cinematics with
There was a
gameplay.
lot of CG cinematics.
Yeah, and then I thought, and then also with the gameplay, I'm going, okay, this is strange. Why don't you just do an in-engine trailer? Because that's more believable. But
Like they used to do.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know why they did it that way, but
yeah, and then
they probably had a reason for it.
yeah, PlayStation Plus games are also really
So,
nice.
so the guy with the weird handlebar mustache, that's Silk McTavish, right?
I think it's Captain Price.
Oh, who the heck was Silk McTavish?
You played as him in the first Modern Warfare.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
But you're not playing as him in this one.
I don't know.
Hmm.
They said he
They
was in
never
this
mentioned his
game.
name, so I was kind of confused.
Yeah, they said he is in this game. I just don't know if you play as him or not.
Ah, all
Yeah,
right. Well, that's coming out October 25th. So,
I cannot wait.
yeah, I mean, there are a lot of people that are actually excited about it. So,
Mhm.
and yeah, like, I mean, we'll go into detail in it in the what we've been playing, but suffice to say, I was actually surprised. So,
Yeah.
um, and let's not keep you in suspense anymore, because of course, the real reason why we wanted to watch this and wait for this is, of course,
The Last
The
of Us
Last of Us Part
2!
2.
And it got a release date!
Yeah, for next year.
February
Like I
21st.
said
Yeah, I already said it's
many,
gonna come
many
out next
times.
year. I know, I know. And it's coming out in a month I kind of knew it was gonna happen. February.
But this actually puts it in a very interesting position, doesn't it? Because let's say they formally announce the new PlayStation.
Hmm.
It is going to be after this date then.
I think the new PlayStation is gonna be announced. Oh, well, what they'll maybe do is announce it.
Not to because if you announce the new PlayStation, you're taking away whatever energy you had for The Last of Us Part 2 selling well.
I don't know, cause I, I think when The Last of Us initially came out for PlayStation, it was after E3 of that year, and then Sony gave it a little bit of extra attention at their E3 press conference with the trailer. So I don't know. Maybe they can do that again.
Yeah, no, maybe.
Yeah, it really looked nice. It was a
But
story trailer, but also a lot of gameplay mixed in there. We saw Joel
yeah.
finally.
So I don't know if it's me. Maybe it is. Maybe it was just me. But to me, it didn't feel like the footage that they captured came from a PlayStation 4 Pro like they usually do. It looked
In
like
what
it came
way?
from a PlayStation 4.
I don't know. I just
Like early parts of the trailer felt, especially there was this part where Ellie is on a horse, and the horse does not look as detailed as, say, the horses in Red Dead Redemption 2.
mm,
But then later on in the trailer, they look a lot better.
I had that with
So
the
maybe
trees
they
at the
spliced.
beginning with the snow on it. It didn't
Yeah,
really look like there was snow on the trees.
I think they spliced two different footages.
Could be.
Part was captured either early or from a different device,
Yeah.
and then the later half is captured all from a PlayStation 4 Pro.
I think, well, for example, when they showed gameplay footage at E3 last year, that was running off a PlayStation 4 Pro.
Yeah,
And when I first saw it, I kind of didn't believe that was coming off of a PlayStation 4 because, and I told you last week, I love the way in Uncharted 4, how they transitioned from cutscenes to gameplay. It was
yeah,
so natural and organic that I had moments in which I didn't realize that the cutscene was over because then the camera would, for example, pan towards the back of the character and then there wouldn't be anything happening. So I just moved the analog stick and I was like, oh, oh wow, the cutscene's over. I didn't actually realize that because there wasn't like a normally you can see a hard transition in which that happens. And here it didn't
yeah,
happen. So I had that in Uncharted a couple of times. And the same thing happened in that Last of Us 2 demo that we saw, that it just transitioned from that dancing party in the shed to Ellie killing a guy and like, whoa, well, okay, this really looks, is this gameplay, is this engine footage, because it really really looked nice. I was kind of, I didn't believe it actually, to be honest. I thought, oh, no, 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 this looks like that Killzone 2 thing they did back in the day, you know.
yeah.
Yeah, but then again, if there's someone that's gonna pull it off, it's gonna be Naughty Dog. I mean,
Not true.
yeah.
I mean, they did. The trailer looks really nice, and I thought that Joel was dead, but then again, I haven't played one yet. So,
Well, it's good that
but
you mentioned that.
because they also said that it's coming out in October on PlayStation Plus together with MLB The Show 19,
That's also a
which is
Sony
really
developed
weird
game.
because I'm pretty sure that wait, no, I got my years wrong. So that means MLB The Show 20 is the new one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is last year's MLB The Show.
Yeah,
That's also coming out October as a part of PlayStation Plus.
yeah. And in November, we're getting a limited edition Death Stranding PlayStation 4 Pro, which I really don't care about.
Yeah, I
Controller
mean,
looks cool. The console is a bit generic. It's
with the
white with
handprints.
the oil prints on it.
Yeah, I mean it's fine, I guess, for people that wanted a special edition PlayStation 4 Pro.
I
I don't
wish
know
I
if
had
it's worth.
bought the blue limited edition PlayStation 4 Pro, the one that was for I believe 20 years of PlayStation or 25 years of PlayStation. There was this
Ah,
blue
yeah,
PlayStation
that
4
one.
Pro,
Yeah,
which was a
yeah,
little
that
bit
one was really pretty.
translucent. That was nice. Or
Yeah.
the PlayStation 4 that came out in the original PlayStation 1 color scheme a couple of years
Oh, the
ago.
20th
Oh my
anniversary
god, that was also
version. Yeah.
pretty.
I tried to win that one
Really?
and ended up. Yeah, I. It was this scavenger hunt thing that they were doing here with PlayStation Netherlands, and one of the prerequisites was to um, cosplay or dress like a PlayStation character.
Mm-hmm.
Well, since it was pretty last minute, I didn't have time to put a costume together. So what I did was I went to a um, makeup store where they sell like professional makeup
Mm-hmm.
and bought some white and red makeup and painted my face like Kratos.
Oh really?
Yeah, it
Oh.
looked really good. I think I still have a picture of it somewhere, the end result, but yeah, and I've never applied makeup to myself
Mm-hmm.
before, so it was a big first time for me. Made sure that I shaved my head properly and shaved my beard and mustache so it looks good. And then yeah, I painted my face and yeah, walked through Amsterdam looking like Kratos. At a certain point, I actually got stopped by police, a police car that was riding down one of the shopping streets,
Okay.
and they were like, "Why do you look like that?" And then I had to explain why I
Oh
look like
man. Oh, that's so
Kratos,
embarrassing. What did they
running
say?
around with my phone that was dying because the battery was running low.
What did the
I,
police say?
well, they were like, "Oh, okay,
Be
carry on."
safe. Stay in school,
they,
kids.
they just thought it was weird, and they're like, "Fine, whatever." Because that they thought I was maybe doing something weird or planning something weird. Like who walks around looking like Kratos without the full gear, you know? So
Yeah, I can imagine that it looks weird.
yeah, but yeah. Eventually, I had to duck into this electronics shop to buy a power bank because my power was running. And I
Nice.
ended up not winning because every time I got close enough to where it was already taken.
Ah,
Yeah. Someone I know ended up did getting one though.
really? Oh,
Yeah,
that's nice.
lucky.
I saw it at one of those game conventions later, and it normally when it came out was 400 euros, and now and they were selling it for 1,000 euros. I'm like, yeah, right.
Yeah,
Nobody's gonna
that's not. Yeah, I was so because I didn't own a PlayStation back then, so
Ah,
that would have been a perfect first PlayStation 4.
nice.
Ah well, ended up getting a PlayStation 4 anyway, so
Mm,
I guess it all ends well.
yeah. Well,
So yeah, that was another state of play.
yeah.
And I think this might be the last one, unless they do one specifically for Death Stranding
I don't know if they'll
before it
do
comes
one
out.
for Death Stranding, but who knows? Maybe they'll do a Destination PlayStation experience this year. I mean, they haven't said anything around that. I know that
I don't.
Microsoft is doing an XO event, XO19.
Yeah, but they have more to. What do they have to show?
Microsoft?
Yeah,
I don't know. I read,
I mean, Gears 5 is out. What else do they have?
yeah. So I think they'll maybe show stuff around next year, and maybe Project X Cloud, because that's also coming out this month, next month.
It is. Oh, right,
Yeah,
it is.
it's coming out
Totally
before
forgot about that.
Stadia.
Yeah. Oh, wait, that one actually has a date, doesn't it?
I think they were going to roll it out for beta in October.
Hmm.
Um,
Xcloud release date. Let me look it up real quickly here. September 4th, 2019. We have updated. We confirmed that an October 2019 public preview in South Korea.
That's a strange
Okay,
place to
that I
start.
don't think that. Nah, it's coming from Android Authority, so I'm not sure if that's actually. I would consider that like a credible source. Um, yeah.
I
So
can remember at E3 they said it's gonna come out in October.
yeah, I'm pretty sure they're gonna do like. I think they said at E3 that it was gonna be like this beta thing in October.
Yeah, you could use your own Xbox and
Yeah.
something else. I just realized, oh crap, I traded in my Xbox, so I
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
must
Here it is.
try out xCloud.
So, Microsoft announced at their conference at E3 that it will hold a public beta trials for Project X Cloud in October 2019,
Yeah,
but they haven't yet provided any information. So, I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
yeah. I think Uplay Plus is out. I got an email that I could sign up for a 1 month free trial. So that's already
Yeah,
one streaming service coming out.
yeah. I also got that same email. I haven't had the time. I haven't booted up my PC in a while, so I probably should do that when
I
I
think I'll try it out when Ghost
have some
Recon
time
comes
off.
out so I can play it for free instead of pay it.
When is that coming out? Next month?
No, Ghost Recon's coming out in 2 weeks, I believe. Next week or in 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll do it around that time too.
Yeah.
See if it actually runs on the old thing.
I think that's it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah, that's it. So hang tight, guys. We'll be right back with what we've been playing.
Alrighty, welcome back to our second segment, what we have been playing. So what have you been playing, Maximilian?
Well, I think it's something that we both have been playing, Sean, just not against each other or with each other just yet. But I'd still like us to talk about it, which is the Call of Duty beta
Oh, I
for
love
Modern
it.
Warfare. Really?
I liked it.
Okay, so like little history here. My history with the Call of Duty franchise has been playing some of Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer back in the day, and that's about it. And
That's not a
it
lot.
feel it's not a lot, but I did. I mean, I played maybe for a couple of weeks, so I have some experience with it. I usually played a support class or the support loadout, which I am so bad
Wait, what is
at.
that with the huge machine gun with an LMG?
If that's what it used to be, then yeah, that's what I'm doing now.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
easy. Just shoot 100 rounds. Keep your finger on the trigger.
Says the guy who had problems adjusting to Battlefield 5 on PlayStation again.
Well, excuse me, but last time I checked, if you play with a mouse and keyboard, it's far more accurate and far more easier compared to a
Well, thank
controller.
you. Obviously, but I didn't. My PC would not be able to handle Call of Duty, so I played on a PlayStation. Which honestly, it yeah, it looks for one to get aesthetics out of the way. It actually looks really unbelievably gorgeous, even on my base PlayStation 4.
It's amazing. It looks really, really
Runs
good.
buttery smooth.
Yep.
And yeah, it's Call of Duty. Literally the first minute I was in, I was wait, where do I go? What do I and I'm dead. Okay, now I remember how this feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
I
not
think they really did a good job on it because I played the alpha, which was the 2v2 gunfight. Those matches last 2 minutes. I played the last beta last week on the PlayStation, and this
mhm.
week it's also crossplay. So it's on PC, Xbox, and on PlayStation. The only thing I'm not sure because on my PlayStation I only got matched to PlayStation players, and I read an article online that you have to create a Call of Duty account, then turn something on, and then you can get matched make into crossplay with other people. But on the
Okay.
PC, for example, I just use it runs through BattleNet, and then I just on a PC I got matched make with PC, Xbox, and PlayStation players, and they all had mouse and keyboard. You can also see if they're using a controller or a mouse and keyboard. And it
I mean,
also
I
works on PlayStation and Xbox. So yeah, if you're playing on the same platform.
but what I do know is that at least for Xbox players, depending if the game supports it or not, you can use a mouse and keyboard on Xbox. So I'm kind of curious if there are people out there that actually try to use mouse and keyboard during this beta.
I saw
But
enough people playing with it
wait, on Xbox on like or just PC? Or you saw
on
mostly PC
consoles.
players? Really?
Yeah.
Even PlayStation players
Yes. I had it
with mouse and
yesterday.
keyboard?
Yes.
Did you try it yourself?
No.
Oh, gee, that's a lot.
Yeah, I thought,
Well,
well, what's the difference between playing it on my PlayStation with a mouse and keyboard or playing it on my PC with a mouse and keyboard? I mean, the
well,
only
honestly,
thing
I just wanted to know how it worked. If it was easy to set up, basically.
from what I've seen online, it is a lot easier. They even put in a fix that you can't switch input device mid match because some people would apparently switch from a controller to a mouse and keyboard or the other way around. So they
Hmm.
dropped a small fix that you can change that while you're playing the game. That's really
Oh,
nice.
that's handy.
Yeah,
Oh, that's nice.
yeah. And to be honest, I've
I
I
honestly wouldn't know why you would do that, but sure.
yeah, yeah, same here. Yeah, but we've had this crossplay debate for some
Oh boy.
episodes now, and maybe I think I had the first moment yesterday where I actually thought, okay, this crossplay stuff can be interesting because, say for example, I don't have enough money to buy a super amped up PC, and I like playing
Mhm.
with keyboard and mouse, but I have a PlayStation. Uh, and I kind of want to use that, but I also want to play with my friends who are on PC. Then this is kind of the perfect solution. I can hook up a keyboard and a mouse to my PlayStation and play with my PC friends, or the other way around. And it keeps the entry level for example, Call of Duty really low because I just need a PlayStation instead of 2 or 3,000 euro PC. So it was the first moment where I actually thought, okay, this crossplay stuff can be interesting or it can be fun as long as it's not used as a marketing tool or a gambling chip saying, oh, look at us, we embrace crossplay. But actually experiencing crossplay,
Really though?
it changed my perspective.
Well, good because it should because we should be working towards a gaming utopia at least when it comes to online play.
Yeah, I never thought I would change my opinion around it, but I was surprised in a good way.
But the thing is though, what you have to realize is that not all of the crossplays have this level of support that Call of Duty is giving to it,
Yeah,
of course, because you can play with mouse and keyboard even on your console.
yeah.
You don't have that option, for example, if you're playing Rocket League.
Does Fortnite support it? I don't think so, right?
I don't think so either. I mean, I haven't checked it out. I haven't tried it yet on my PlayStation. Honestly, then mostly because I didn't know that PlayStation supported mouse and keyboard, but
Yeah,
that's me.
started doing that on the PS3, but it's up to the developers to
Ah,
implement it in their game.
there you go.
Because I remember Unreal Tournament 3 was the first game on PlayStation 3 that had mod support and keyboard mouse
Ah, okay. All right.
support.
Okay, fair, fair. So then it's just, I mean, I guess it's just a matter of developers embracing that part of it,
Yeah,
embracing that part of cross play to make it work. I mean, all the consoles have multiple USB ports, so I don't see why it would not be possible to do that and to support it. I mean, we're moving towards a more connected world, so I don't see why that wouldn't be an option, you know?
yeah. I think that with Call of Duty, it's kind of the first big game besides Fortnite, but that's a free to play game. I think it's the first paid game that's supporting crossplay day one, and it's a huge ass franchise such as Call of Duty that can kind of make this mainstream and make sure that other developers or other games embrace it. When they
Yeah.
announced it, and I saw, hey, it supports crossplay day one, I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty big actually. And I wouldn't be surprised if, for example, Destiny 2 gets this in the future, maybe Battlefield gets this, or at least the next installments in those franchises. Because just like Battle Royale became a must for every game, if Activision pulls this off right, crossplay is going to become a must-have for a new game.
Mm, definitely. Which is something that I'm honestly looking forward to. I like seeing more of this happening throughout the times, but it all depends on the developers.
Yeah,
And it's probably also going to depend on what next gen is going to be like, in terms of development costs and whatnot. And considering that those also tend to go up, it would be nice to have the crossplay to offset that kind of balance, because then it doesn't matter on which console they sell the most, as long as they sell.
yeah. And I think it makes it interesting for developers as well because they're not focused on making money desperately, and they're more like, oh, you know what, money comes in from all places because everybody just buys their preferred platform, instead of saying, well, okay, the install base for PlayStation is the biggest, so we need to put all our attention on make sure that that version is the best,
Exactly.
so we hopefully can get the most money out of PlayStation. Whereas now it's just we have to make the best version of this game so it sells well on all platforms.
Exactly. That is a very nice future to look at. The only thing, and this is like the only thing that I have that might be in the way, is that you have to consider the costs of actually having a service like this and the upkeep for it. So hopefully, in the near future, we're going to see more and more middleware that provides cross-platform play, so that the developers don't have to invest extra resources and research to make it work.
Yeah,
You know, so
yeah.
hey, just a matter of time. I will say this: I completely forgot that the aim assist with controllers was that finicky on Call of Duty, because you'll aim at a guy and you're trying to aim with your right analog stick. So when you know, go down the sights, it's like, oh, it's already kind of
It snaps
magnetically
into
trying.
place.
It kind of
Yeah,
snaps into place, and you're like, oh, wait, and then
yeah,
you're like shooting around
yeah.
like a dang stormtrooper.
That's kind of how I felt when I
So
played Battlefield the first time on PlayStation.
yeah,
But I have
so
to
I mean,
say, is the gunplay feels good. The weapons are really nice. There's a lot of depth in the game, in the mechanics for the good weapon customization. I don't know
the
if
weapons
you,
have the appropriate kickback.
yeah,
Yeah,
did you? I don't know if you got as far, but if you reach level 4, you can create a class, and then
yeah.
each weapon has levels. So the more kills you do make with it, the more levels it gets, more attachments unlock. But there's some really depth behind it. I got to level 30 with one rifle. I'm like, wow, okay, this just keeps on going and going. It keeps on surprising me with new additions. It's not the obvious additions they give. It's not like, oh, a scope here, a grip there, a silencer here. But you also get to attach perks to those weapons besides the 3 perks you already have. You can sometimes completely change the way a weapon performs, such as a longer or shorter or a heavy barrel. It really kind of opens the door for these cool Frankenstein weapons.
Cool. I mean, yeah, I got past level 4, so I was able to create a modified class, but I didn't get any further than that. So I wasn't able to modify. I did see the options that you could do, and there were some really cool options in there. My personal favorite are the silencers, because I'm just that bad. So I'd rather not hear them trying to shoot them, with until it's too late. But yeah, it's really cool. I'm gonna play some more later, and get hopefully a bit farther in and get some more levels on some guns. I will say the heavy assault rifle it feels really nice, because when you play the assault class, the assault loadout, you get a specific SMG, and I honestly don't like that one, because that is burst.
Yes, the
That only has like
FAMAS.
the burst shot, and
Yeah.
that's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
I don't like SMGs that have just the burst, because then you have to pay attention to where you're shooting, and you have to respond really quickly if you miss,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
basically gives away your position. Whereas you have heavy assault rifle, you just hold it, and even if you miss, just make sure you drag it back to the target and you
You could
still
just
get it.
spray away.
Yeah, I mean, when I realized that and started using that, I actually started getting more kills. So yeah, so hopefully that'll do it. But there is one thing that I wanted to ask you, because we were talking a while back about some of the modes, because they were rolling out the modes piecemeal day by day. and you played a specific mode that wasn't available when I was playing, which I think you called hardcore mode, and
Yeah,
where you take more damage and you have less health options or whatever, um, which is something that wasn't available to me. What was available to me was night mode, which I honestly thought was an interesting take. I feel that Modern Warfare 2 had a night mode as well. For those that don't know, the night mode literally is you playing with night gear goggles on, and it's nighttime, so you can see the enemies and see your surroundings. You can take the goggles off, but then everything is pretty much in the dark, and you can only see stuff when you're out in an outside environment. But once you're inside, there's nothing there, and you can't do anything. Well, that's not true. It's not that you can't do anything. It's just that the odds of you getting killed are way higher because you can't see that well in the dark. So you have to have the night vision goggles on, which I enjoyed it. It was pretty different. I did some other gameplay things in there as well. I think there was this one capture the flag kind of thing. I forget what
is
they're called.
domination probably.
Um, Yeah, is that the one where you have to capture a spot and you have to hold on to it until the timer runs out?
Yeah, yeah. You have headquarters, which is uh,
Yeah, I played that one as well. I played that one. That one came up a lot in the randoms, by the way.
oh, I had
A
a
lot
lot
of
of
people were
domination.
playing that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of domination. I had that a few times. Um, and then there's the one where you have to capture three spots and hold it till you get all the points. Don't remember that. I think that's capture the flag, right?
So the three holding the three spots is domination, and then
Okay,
it's making sure that you hit the 200 point
the 200
limit.
points. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
And
the
then
one
you have
with the headquarters is that there's this small headquarter opening up, and you have to capture it and hold on to it as long as you can.
mm,
And then the other team has to try to shut it down, basically.
yeah, and then there was the other mode, I think the hacker one.
I didn't play
Um,
that one. I think it was called EMP, something like that.
yeah, 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 yeah. So that one is interesting because the mission the objective there is that you have to pick up a EMP bomb and then take it to um, the base of your opponent,
Yeah.
set it off there. But the whole catch 22 there is that you all have one life, no response.
Ooh, that's nice.
So
Added a
if
little bit
so,
pressure.
either you deliver the bomb
Yeah.
and set it off, or your whole team gets excommunicated.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah,
I didn't try that one. I did play Ground War. I don't know if you played that one.
maybe I did.
They
Wait, could you?
unlocked it yesterday.
Okay, I haven't played it
It's
yet.
basically conquest as we know it from Battlefield. So it's huge map, 32 versus 32,
Oh, okay.
vehicles included. So there's tanks, helicopters, jeeps, which is kind of first.
Ooh, we have to do that later.
Yeah, and then it's basically capturing multiple points on the map, kind of like domination, but then on a far larger scale.
Hmm.
It's nice, but you can notice the difference that I think it was inspired by Conquest, but it isn't as good as Conquest. So it's really chaotic. I played it for 20 minutes, and after that, I just switched back to the old rotation, playing Team Deathmatch and Domination on smaller maps because I like that more because it's a bit more fast paced. Here it was so chaotic that I got shot from all sides, and I couldn't. Yeah, I could like and then eventually I thought, you know what? I'll just try something else. Yeah,
Maybe you just needed a good wingman.
I probably yeah.
It's not me, but I'll give it my best shot.
We'll have to find out.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to add about the beta? I mean, we could probably be talking about this for way longer, but
Well, for now I'm good. I think I'm gonna. I think I'm convinced that I want to play this one, so I'm gonna buy. I just don't know if I'm gonna buy it on PlayStation or on PC.
doesn't matter either way if you do it that way because we could still play co-op anyways.
Yeah,
All right. Cool. Moving on, I like to talk a bit more about Astral Chain, since I've been playing that a little bit further than the last time.
yeah.
The last time it was only up up until I think chapter 3 or something. Now I'm up to chapter 6 or case 6. The cases are getting longer. Um, and there's a lot more to do because the last mission I did, slight spoilers for case 6, is it's mostly a sneaking mission. So you start off, in the shadows, trying to get to this area in the game, and you have to avoid other cops, even though you're a cop yourself. There's this one area in the city that you're not allowed to venture, even though you're a cop for you know obvious nefarious reasons. And you get there and you start doing favors for other people there, solving mysteries, solving crimes. Then you get into the actual nitty gritty of it, the action segment, which is really cool because now I have 3 legions. So you start off with the Sword Legion, which is a melee, up and close and personal legion that gets close to the enemies and attacks. You have the Arrow Legion that snipes enemies from afar, which was a real annoying one to get, by the way. And then the last one that
How
I
do you get
just
these legions? Is it like a boss fight and it unlocks or
yeah,
something?
it's
Or
yeah, it's a boss fight. So these are boss fights in basically every case you have one, except for the first two. In the first two chapters, you didn't get. So from case 3 onwards, you start getting the legions, and now I have the Arm Legion, which is like this big hulking thing that looks like a gorilla, which is awesome because she can go inside and float around and punch stuff real big and move stuff that are huge. And now I also have the Beast Legion, which is probably the handiest one of all because it is capable of finding people. It's literally a dog, so all you have to do is present it with a smell, and it'll find it for you. And it can dig around for stuff, so it's kind of adorable. Um, so yeah, the chapter I've been right now, there's some really big story revelations that I'm not going to go into because I don't want to spoil it for people that have yet to play it. But suffice to say, the gameplay mechanic has gotten so much more interesting by chapter 6 that you want to experiment with playing with the different legions and figuring out different combos. The combo system is, by the way, really fun, even though it's very simple because you only have one attack button, and the legions attack automatically. You can time your attacks until you reach a certain point where your gun or your weapon blinks, and that's when you unleash your legion, and then you do a combo together, and you start a combo chain, and you can like chain these combos together, and it's so satisfying to do.
that's probably why
And
they got the name Astral Chain from, or at least the chain part.
well, part of it, yeah, part of it is also because the legions are tied to you with a literal astral chain. So yeah, and
Oh,
you do
nice.
use that in battle because you can use it to ensnare the enemies, or if they charge towards you, you can pull it tight and then fling them back like you're some kind of wrestler in a wrestling ring,
Nice.
which is really cool and really satisfying to do because they run up until the chain and then you fling them back in their day so you can just wail on them nonstop for a while. And yeah, it's just been really fun to play. I do like the fact that they break up the action sequences with all these other stuff with the detective work. The sneaking wasn't not that fun though because the engine is kind of not really built for it.
Hmm.
I mean, there's a way around it, of course. I mean, the game is built around having these things, but I don't think it was fleshed out enough for sneaking missions. So hopefully there's not a lot of them. This is the first time they've done it. Hopefully I don't have to do it again because if I have to do it again, I'm gonna be very upset. Um,
uh,
no, because I'd rather do the detective work because it's way more interesting and you have to interview people and do other side quests besides it. Plus, it earns you points so that you can level up your legion and get more abilities, get more skills, and they'll do awesome stuff. Like, for example, I unlocked this ability for the Beast Legion where it automatically chains down multiple enemies, it's hit or miss. It works about 50% of the time. But when it does, it's very handy because then they're chained down and I don't have to worry about being surrounded by five other enemies at the same time. I can just chain them down and wail on one and then move on to the next. So it's stuff like that that makes Astral Chain a real fun game to play. It's also really pretty, which helps a lot. Um, I mean, yeah, it's a solid platinum game. I don't know what you want more
I
other
don't know.
than
I've actually never played a platinum game before. I think maybe a little bit of Bayonetta, and besides that, I've never played one of their games. So, oh wait, I did play one. The one they did for Sega, in which it's in space. You're this guy in this kind of in this robotic suit. You can glide over the floor in the space station.
Vanquish.
Yeah, Vanquish. I really like that one.
Yeah,
I didn't never
I
understood
mean,
why they didn't do a sequel to that one.
probably because Vanquish didn't sell well. You know why that the one didn't sell well?
Huh?
It came out at it came out during a time where I think a Gears of War came out,
Oh,
and
yeah.
people were comparing it to Gears of War, like a Japanese Gears of
Okay,
War,
yeah.
which is
Bummer
funny
because I really
because in
liked it.
which is really funny because in that same year, a an actual Japanese Gears of War clone came out, not made by Platinum,
Yeah, I think I
by
know
I
which
think
one. With the
Capcom or something.
Was it Koei Tecmo, the one where you have to go into the tower and climb your way up and kill all these monsters, and it had a male and a female protagonist.
I think so.
I
I
think
don't
that's the
even
one.
remember.
Yeah,
Like I know that there's like this really blatant, like dude broy shooter
yeah.
that just screams Gears of War clone. It's not set in space or anything. It's set on Earth, but it's really brown by the way that game, which is a it's that's the wrong takeaway by the way. Just because Western games at the time looked brown doesn't mean the answer is make your games look brown. But that's besides the point. Um, wow, really? Then we need to get you've played Clover Studio games, right? You've played Beautiful Joe, right? Or Okami.
No, 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 no.
Okay, we need to get you on the Platinum Games roll, man.
If you finish
I've
Astral
I've
Chain,
I've
I'll want to try it. But
I have plenty of other games that I can let you try besides Astral Chain, but sure. Um, yeah. Other than that, what else have you been playing?
besides the Call of Duty beta, I
Hmm.
have been playing Dragon Quest Builder still.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know why, but that game is really fun. It's maybe because of the cute Dragon Questy style over it.
yeah,
I'm now in the second world, I think. So you
yeah.
get to build these portals, and those portals take you to different worlds, and the worlds have different resources. So now I'm in one kind of with a desert, so I have sand and clay and those resources. And it's really fun that when you pick up this new resource, your character gets this light bulb, and then they know, oh, okay, now I know this recipe, so I can build this and I can build that, and really fun how it is done. Um,
Yeah, it's super cute.
yeah, it's yeah. Um, I'm still playing that one. I got Xbox.
Did you by the way see the guy that was remaking um one of the Legend of Zeldas in Dragon Quest Builder 2?
Oh, I haven't heard about that one. I should check that out.
Yeah, I'll send you a link later, but he was like as in rebuilding the landscape from and the buildings and
Oh,
everything.
that's nice. I
So
thought they only did those kind of things in Minecraft, but it's cool to see people do it in Dragon Quest as well.
it is nice to see
Yeah.
that they're doing it in Dragon Quest, and I'm
The-
pretty sure it looks way more realistic in that than Minecraft.
Yeah, the only gripes I have with Minecraft, Dragon Quest so far, is the combat. The combat's more like an afterthought.
Yeah,
So there's no, you can, for example, equip a shield, but it doesn't actually have a purpose in, you can't block or fend off an attack. It's more that you bump up your defense rating, which is
yeah.
good, but, and I saw that the sequel kind of has the same thing. So it feels like building part is the most important part together with the story, and then the combat is kind of an afterthought, even though you use the combat a lot. But besides that, it's
Mm.
fun. I'm still playing it. I've also gotten Game Pass for the PC. I wanted to play Gears 5, but I realized I only had played Gears 1 till 3, and so I needed start with 4. We started playing 4 for an hour now.
Aren't you also missing Judgment then?
Yeah, but I believe Judgment is a prequel. So
Also, it doesn't matter.
yeah, so I kind of skipped out on it. I asked a friend of mine. I said, "Do I really have to play 4 to be able to play 5?" He said, "Yeah, it's kind of handy if you do." So we're going to play that co-op later today. I think made a small start. Really looks beautiful in 4K on my PC. I was kind of amazed by that.
Oh,
Uh,
your PC's alive again.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I fixed it. I got a new water cooler and a new graphics card, and now she's alive and kicking again.
Took them long enough.
Yeah, don't let's not talk about it. I'm happy with the
All right.
solution. Anyways, so Gears 4, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you're not gonna like this one, but I played the Damon X Machina demo for 10 minutes, and
Mm-hmm.
then I quit because it's not my kind of game. And um,
Really?
yeah, I don't know. It just feels too like when
You
I play.
literally only did the tutorial then.
Yeah, but like I wasn't. So when I play a game, it needs to
Mm.
wow me, and it's okay if
Yeah.
it has to build up to it. But it didn't feel like, wow, I want to explore more. I want to try more. And so
Really?
yeah, and I glided around a bit. I destroyed some enemies, and it felt so dull. And the funny thing is I was listening to a different podcast 2 days ago, and they had written a review around Daemon X Machina, and they kind of bashed the game into the ground. A lot of f bombs and this game is really bad and all those things. And people were comparing it to
Whoa.
Astral Chain. They said, why is a game like Astral Chain really good? And is Nintendo publishing this game? I think Nintendo's publishing Daemon X Machina. I'm not
I
sure.
think it's Marvelous that's publishing this game.
At least they said, like, why does Nintendo have a game like this on their platform? Because it's really bad. And I'm like, okay, maybe this is confirmation bias in a way that like I'm hoping to get what I want to hear, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I wasn't really wowed by it. I'm sorry.
You don't have to apologize to me.
Yeah.
Like I said, well, here's the thing. I played the beta, and then the final release is actually a lot better compared to what it was. So yeah, I mean, no skin off my back if you don't like it. You like what you like, and you like what you don't like. I'm not gonna force you. I'm just gonna say, try it out for a bit longer, and if you still feel the same way, then that's it for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do feel like 10 minutes is a bit short because you've literally just played the tutorial part, and yeah, the tutorial part does drag. I will admit to that, mostly because the tutorial was a lot shorter in the beta. But again, it's a beta, and they were still finalizing stuff in there, so I get why that one was a bit quicker. But yeah, it does have multiplayer in the demos. If you feel like hooking up and at least trying some of the multiplayer levels, we could do that sometime.
Yeah, we can try. Maybe I can
Yeah,
get a different perspective on the game.
yeah, sure. I mean, anything before you say, "Oh, I'm just gonna not say no to this." After
Yeah.
10 minutes. Um,
But that's basically
on
it.
the Okay.
I know that you've been dying to play a little game called Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. So maybe not keep us in suspense and tell us how
Don't
amazing
don't
that
don't
game
don't
is.
you don't you mean the Legend of Zelda? The Link's Awakening. I'm sorry. I just shared this ridiculous image with Sean Templar, and it's just stupid fun. No, but yeah, there is something little special for you guys. Hopefully, waiting for you by the time this episode goes up. Which is a unboxing video because I was lucky enough to be able to pick up the limited edition here in Europe. So hopefully by the time that you're listening to this, the unboxing video will be live on our YouTube channel. So you can look forward to that and listen to my voice and seeing the coolness that comes with the limited edition. But other than that, I've finally actually gotten to play it, and it is so gosh darn charming.
It looks
I
really
mean, I've
cute.
played the game. Here's the thing: I've played the game before. I've never finished it. I will admit, it's one of those Legend of Zelda games that I haven't finished. I mean, I've finished other ones. I finished the Oracles of Ages and Seasons games, the Minish Cap, Breath of the Wild, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, like the more recent stuff. But the old stuff I haven't finished. I've played them, and with this, it is my intention, of course, to finally beat Link's Awakening for the first time, and it is just so gosh darn charming. The character models are so cute, and it just looks like all these. It looks like a freaking diorama. I mean, if you've seen a diorama, like a really good diorama, by the way, not the crappy stuff that you made when you were a kid, with cardboard. No, this looks like someone took expert figurines and then put them in this cute little box and made it look all cute and
Oh
cuddly,
man.
and it plays relatively well.
Did you, by the way, get the amiibo? Because I heard this is a really cute amiibo.
Oh, the amiibo is so cute, but no,
Are you gonna
no,
get
no, no,
it?
no. Maybe, if they don't run out, but
Do
yeah,
amiibos get
I've
a
seen.
limited run, or do they just keep on making them?
There's a certain run to them,
Okay.
so yeah, eh. Um, but yeah, it's it's very adorable. I've seen some unboxing videos of that, and hopefully, I get to pick it up sometime soon. But there's not a lot of use for it though, at least in Link's Awakening, because the only thing you can do is that you have this dungeon building kind of aspect to the
Yeah,
game,
I saw that.
and the only way you can share the dungeons that you made is to save it to Legend of Zelda amiibo. It doesn't have to be that specific amiibo, but any of the Legend of Zelda series, and then take it to a friend's place and then put it on their Switch so they can try your
Oh,
dungeon.
but you can share the dungeons because in the reviews that I saw, they were saying, "Oh, there's no way to share the dungeon, so it's a cool
No,
mechanic." But
there's no way to share the dungeons online.
okay, that's a kind of a strange one, seeing as with Mario and Super Mario Maker, they were really promoting that sharing aspect.
Well, with Super Mario Maker, of course, that is already built into the framework because the previous one did it online as well.
Oh, okay.
But for whatever reason, they decided to do this with. Yeah, I don't know why they
It's
did
really
it.
strange.
It's
So
really
I
strange.
wouldn't expect it.
Yeah, it kind of blows chunks that they did it that way. But well, you get a cute little amiibo for it. The gameplay is largely the same, except that they actually made some sweet um, quality of life changes. Wow, I almost forgot the word. Quality of life changes to it, where um, in the original game you were bound by the two buttons that you had on the Game Boy. So, in order to accommodate using multiple items, you can actually change out which items that you were holding in either button. So, for example, you don't have to hold the sword if you don't need the sword. You can switch it out for the power bracelet so that you can lift stuff, and the shield in the other hand, or the rock's feather so that you can jump. But now, Sword and Shield have their own dedicated buttons. So that means you have two extra buttons that you can interchange items from. And stuff like, for example, the power bracelet, which you used to always have to equip so that you can lift heavy stuff, you don't have to do that now. Once you get the power bracelet, that's it. It's always equipped and you can always lift heavy stuff, which helps a lot.
Nice.
The only thing, and I'm pretty sure that most people have already heard it online if they've seen even one review, is that there are some places in the game where the frame rate kind of chugs for some whatever reason, which, if you look at the visuals, it kind of doesn't make sense, but it does happen. It happens in specific places, and it can be kind of jarring when you experience it the first time, but it doesn't last that long. So, you'll have the initial dip and it'll just go back to what it used to be and just keep going at that pace. Which I think it's not a locked 60 frames per second, but it is 60 frames.
That's nice. Is
So it plays.
Breath of the Wild, is that 30 or 60?
That's 30.
Okay.
Well, it has to be 30 because the world's huge.
Okay, nice.
So yeah. So I just started, so I'm not. Uh, that's all I can talk about it right now. In terms of you know Link's Awakening. But if you've played it before, if you have a Switch, get it. If you've played it before, still get it. Even if you haven't played it before, still get it because it is a fantastic game. It is so much fun. The characters themselves have so much charm to them. It has one of the funniest writings from back in the day. And well, if you're gonna pick it up and you don't own a Switch yet, now is a perfect time because on the same day that Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening released, the Switch Lite released. And
Yay.
yeah, I don't know if you've seen the reviews, but kind of good. People like it. People dig it. Um,
Affordable.
it's affordable, so yeah. Legend of Zelda, Switch Lite, get them. Also, it kind of brings it all back to the whole portable gaming aspect of it all. Just remember that the Switch Lite does not hook up to your TV in any way, and the Joy Cons are attached to the system. So the last thing that I played this weekend is once again the best battle royale
Oh
game
god.
of our
There
generation,
we go again.
Tetris 99. But again, the only reason I played it, which seems to be a pattern here, is that the only time that I really get into it is when they either introduce new stuff to the game or there's a new theme, which in this case is Kirby. Um, So talked about it in the previous episode that there was a new Kirby game out called Super Kirby. What was it called? Super Kirby Battle. Yeah, Super Kirby Battle, something other than that. So that's the theme that you can win this time around. So I played a couple of matches throughout the weekend and finally got the theme. So I'm happy. I'm satisfied again. Got a new theme to add to my collection. And this one is not something that you can buy later on in the store that they introduced recently to Tetris 99, which you can buy new themes and new icons by winning vouchers in the game by doing daily quests. And the daily quests can range from anywhere to um, scoring 4 Tetrises in one game of Tetris 99 or getting 100 lines throughout the day. So not in a single session, but throughout the day, the more get a maximum of 100 lines and then you get a ticket. And if you have the offline content, it adds an additional 2 daily missions. So you can get a maximum of 4 tickets each day. So that's actually pretty cool. It adds a lot of replayability to Tetris 99 if you've been waiting on it and you've been wanting more variety and actual reasons to play daily. These new additions actually do add up to more replayability for Tetris 99. So yeah, hopefully people will get to it. We'll get to play some Tetris 99, especially since the Nintendo Online subscription is only $20 a year. So yeah. So anything else you want to add, Sean Templar?
No, I didn't play that much. I don't know why, but hopefully we'll be playing a bit more in the weeks to come.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is the fall season, and more games are coming out. I mean, next week is Dragon Quest 11. Yay!
Our wallet's gonna hurt so bad.
Oh man, my wallet is like slapping me in the face right now. Like, why are you doing this to me?
I told you this multiple times. Finish one game, then buy the other. It's not like I'm holding you at
I am.
gunpoint to buy those games.
I am. I will. I think I'm almost done with Astral Chain. I'm gonna keep plowing that, but now I'm basically doing 2 games. I'm doing Legend of Zelda and I'm doing Astral Chain. So I mean, like the stuff like the Tetris 99 stuff is something that I do on and off, and it's not something that you can finish anyways. It's just keeping my Tetris reflexes sharp. And oh, I actually almost forgot about one other game that I've been playing recently as well. I'm gonna just give my quick thing about it because I haven't been playing it a lot, which is Breath of Fire, which is a Super Nintendo game that I've been playing on the SNES Nintendo Switch Online service.
Oh, the stupid name.
Yeah, I know. I really don't like the name at all.
Oh.
But it is a game from a series that I've played the sequel of before, and I've played maybe 20 hours so far in Breath of Fire, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not sure how this game became a series because it's very basic. For even at JRPG terms, this is a very basic JRPG. The fact that it got a sequel at all surprises me. So I'm gonna do my homework and hopefully I'll have an answer the next time we record because I want to know how Breath of Fire 2 got made because Breath of Fire 1 is very generic.
I don't play
And that
JRPG, so I can't help you out here. Show it to me one day,
I'll
and I'll give you my opinion then.
I'll show it to you one day and you'll see like, oh my goodness, you're actually right. I mean, at least now the main character finally turns into a dragon,
That sounds
but it's
cool.
not as yeah, but it's not as cool as you would hope that it would be. It's way cooler in Breath of Fire 3, and it also holds way more significance when you do it in Breath of Fire 3. But in Breath of Fire 1, it's just like, oh, you beat this challenge, now you can turn into three kinds of dragons.
That sounds pretty generic.
Ooh. See what I
Yeah, okay.
mean?
I was thinking something more along the lines of Game of Thrones, but that's
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it gets better. I don't know. Like Breath of Fire 3 is an actually good game, so I don't know. Maybe I was feeling nostalgic for that and was trying to supplant it on Breath of Fire 1. Anyway. So that's it for what we've been playing. Stick around and we'll be right back with our hidden gems. And welcome back to our hidden gems. And Sean Templar actually has a really cool hidden gem that he kind of teased me with earlier, and I want to hear more about it. So take it away, Sean.
alrighty. So my hidden gem is a game called Freedom Fighters. It is a PS2, PC, and Xbox Classic, I think in this case, game.
Hmm.
It's made by IO Interactive, which, if some people know, are the guys behind Hitman and Kane and Lynch. And it was at the time published by EA and revolves around that during the Cold War, or shortly after the Second World War, the Russians invade the United States. You play as a plumber in New York, and you go to someone's house to fix their plumbing, who apparently turns out to be a part of the resistance or a forming resistance. And then you get dragged into this conflict happening in New York. The Russians occupy New York, and it's your job, together with your brother, to partner up with the resistance and to liberate New York. Um, the cool part around the game is a third person shooter. It has a lot of different missions, side missions. There's a big variety of missions. And one of the cool mechanics around the game is that you can accumulate points through certain objectives. And when you have enough points, you can recruit a soldier to join your cause. And you can recruit up to 16 soldiers when you go into combat. So it means you have your small squad slash mini army when you're performing these missions, and you build up those that small army of yours. You can also issue orders to these men, so you can tell them, go here, attack that position, defend this position. And then it has they've really, the level design is really great. They've really outdone themselves with the story. You meet up with some characters, you have hideouts, the Russians strike back at you, you strike back at them. There's a point in the game in which you get betrayed by one of the characters who's supposed to be really close to you. and you lose kind of your progress and your whole base, and you have to build it up all again. Um, but at the time, it was a really I didn't expect this game. This game kind of dropped out of nowhere for me. I first played it on PlayStation 2, and I finished there, loved it, and later I got it as a birthday gift for the PC. So played it again on the PC. Um, it I didn't expect it that because I knew IO Interactive from Hitman, and Hitman at that time was a really static game. I would say it had really defined what it was really redefined what you could and could not do. This game offered a lot of freedom, a lot of weapon choices, a lot of ways to solve certain objectives instead of just a really straightforward path. But the funny thing is that there was always a rumor around a sequel, but they never made a sequel, or at least the sequel was in development, but it never got published. And I think Kane and Lynch kind of became a spiritual successor to that because it kind of incorporated uh, similar mechanics such as two characters fighting it out and cover system. I think IO Interactive kind of mentioned it in that way. And I was looking at a documentary a while back, and they said that when they played off from Square Enix, they were able to acquire the rights for both Hitman and Freedom Fighters. So the fact that they said that they got the Freedom Fighters rights kind of gave me hope for a potential sequel one day. You could also funny thing is it didn't really acquire it, but the game also had multiplayer on the PlayStation 2.
Oh,
That was really strange. I didn't expect it. On the PC it didn't have, but on the PlayStation and on the Xbox, it had multiplayer. I never really put my time into it because it was offline multiplayer, but you could face off against someone else with a mini squad. It was really unique.
huh. Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. PC version does not support multiple. Oh, that's a weird thing.
Yeah.
And about that sequel, yeah, it looks like in 2004 they announced plans for a sequel, and then yeah, that fell through for some reason. That they started working on Kane and Lynch instead.
Which turned out to be a really bad game, unfortunately. I remember the whole debacle GameSpot had with Jeff Gersman, in which the I don't did Square publish Kane and Lynch
Well,
or
this was in
IDOS?
2000. No, this was IDOS
IDOS,
because this
well,
was
what? Yeah,
back in
yeah,
2005.
they were sponsoring GameSpot. I remember at the time you had these huge banners. The whole site was filled with Kane and Lynch
Yeah, I
advertising, and
remember.
then Jeff Gersman reviewed the game. He completely destroyed the game in his review, and then Eidos called them out on it and said, "Hey, but we're sponsoring you, and now you kind of trashed our game." And eventually, GameSpot kicked Jeff Gersman out, and he created Giant Bomb that way. It was really a strange event at that time.
One might say strange events. One might say this was destiny.
Oh God.
I mean, come on. I mean, Giant Bomb still exists, and who honestly still cares about Games Radar?
GameSpot.
No, GameSpot. Right. Sorry. People
Well,
actually do still care about Games
yeah,
Radar.
I was checking GameSpot in the past, but now I've kind of almost transitioned exclusively over to N4G, Polygon, and IGN.
Yeah.
I know you're a
And
fan of Kotaku, but I can't stand the layout.
not, I mean, I'm not a fan of Kotaku, but I do like the the Kotaku East reporting, so mostly the Japanese related stuff. Um and also the stuff that uh what is it called again? Man, I'm so bad with names. Um the one that did the expose on Riot and
Jason,
on Jason, right.
that dude, yeah,
Um
he's on a
yeah,
break right now because he's writing another book or a sequel on Blood, Sweat, and Pixels.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
His writing, yes, like 100%. They have someone awesome in that. Plus, they now also have Chris Kohler, who's also pretty cool and a retro gamer. So, man after my own heart.
oh man,
Um, but yeah, I mean, most of the time I'm on Go Nintendo mostly because of the Nintendo related news, and of course on IGN for everything else. And
yeah.
oh, and I'll frequent Polygon once in a while for stuff that gets missed by the others. But other than that, considering that Go Nintendo is mostly a congregate site, anyways,
Yeah.
it I get a lot of sources from there, so it's easier.
Yeah.
But
I hope
yeah,
IO makes a
I will say
sequel to Freedom Fighters.
I actually hope so too because your description of it is awesome.
I remember I
Wow.
played it a couple of times because it was that cool. Because I'd never expected it to have that depth to the gameplay that you could command a
I've never
squad.
even heard of the game.
It's yeah, I don't know how it popped into my mind. It's because I
And
think I was watching the documentary around IO Interactive that it popped into my mind again. I'm like, oh, they have this amazing game.
and this thing came out in 2003. I'm still not sure how I missed this
Yeah, it's funny that it got published by
because
EA, and EA
it's
was
peak
hated at
EA.
the time. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it's peak EA, so anything that came out at that time would have been well documented. So I'm surprised that this
yeah.
kind of flew under the radar.
Yeah, and it was also the story was really cool because it was an original story in which the Soviet Union invades the United States. That rarely happens. There are only a few games out there that use that in their story. I remember World in Conflict was one of those games that I believe had a similar story like that, which is a strategy game made by the people behind the Division when they
And
were
then you have the
small.
Resistance
Yeah, and
games.
then you had Resistance, but that was more like with the virus and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss Resistance. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I liked it. It was
Oh, okay, to be fair, I've never played a Resistance game, so I can't have an honest opinion about it. So
what I liked about Resistance is it was also an original story. It might not have been the best shooter out there, but it was just a nice original story. I like original stories or
also,
like
I
a
think
twist
that
on history.
but also the other thing is that because it was made by
Insomniac.
Insomnia Games,
Yeah,
people had the feeling that they would bring their patented crazy
they
weapons
did.
in there, but I don't think it was the kind of weapons that people were expecting.
Yeah, it's not like a disco weapon like in Ratchet and Clank that all the enemies are dancing or something like that.
Although to be fair, that would be pretty boss if they
That would
did
be
it.
awesome. That would definitely be awesome. Yeah. Yeah. But anyways, Freedom Fighters, if you're looking for a really cool game, try it out.
Hmm,
It's probably a few bucks. If you ever can find it, you'll enjoy it.
cool, awesome. Well, I have a hidden gem of my own too, of course, this week as well. Dipping back into the old portable gaming because honestly, this has to be a game that is a no-brainer to port over to the Switch because of the unique aspects of this game. And this game is called Drill Dozer. It's a quirky little game made by a quirky little developer called, get this, Game Freak.
That
So the
sounds
makers of
familiar.
yes, because it's the developers that mostly work on Pokemon. This was one of their
Oh,
offshoot games.
is this a Game Boy
And
Advance game?
yeah, it's a Game Boy Advance game. Looks pretty neat, right?
Let me just look at the video about it.
So Drill Dozer is about this small thief group that consists of a old man, his granddaughter, and their mechanic. And they have this neat little tank called a drill dozer because, as the name kind of suggests, it has a drill on it. And it's pretty badass because it can drill up to 3 speeds and it can burrow through almost anything. Of course, there are some limitations, but that's gameplay for you. But it is really fun. It has that Game Freak charm to it. So the music, the sounds, the look, it feels and plays like a Game Freak game. And the whole thing is that you're a group of thieves out to steal treasure, but there's this other thief group that tries to get to the treasures before you do and take it for themselves for world domination, of course.
Of course.
So you go after them and you try to stop them from stealing the treasures that you're trying to steal. And the really cool thing about this Game Boy Advance game is that it's one of the few Game Boy Advance games that had a rumble pack built into the cartridge.
Oh, I
So
didn't
when
know
you're
that was
using the
possible.
not a lot of games did it, and only Nintendo did these things.
Oh.
One of the only other games that I remember that did something similar to that was WarioWare Twisted for the Game Boy Advance, which was one of the last games that came out on the Game Boy Advance around the time the DS came out.
Okay.
So, but yeah, this was also a late Game Boy Advance game. I think it came out in 2004. And the quirk here is that the drill has three levels of speed. You always start the level off with speed level 1, and then throughout the level you gain another gear, and the gear gives you another speed. So you can get a max of 2 gears and max of 3 levels of speed, which is part of the whole puzzle mechanic. So it's a puzzle platforming game. You can jump, but your whole thing is to solve puzzles with your drill dozer.
Yeah, I saw that you could shift up the speed of your drill in the video.
Exactly. Yeah. So you it's like a manual shift. So you hold the drill. Level 1 is a short burst. Level 2 is a longer burst, and level 3 you can hold indefinitely until you stop. And with every shift up, you actually feel the rumble shifting up and getting more
Okay, that's
intense,
cool.
which would work really perfectly with the HD rumble because it's that specific. You can actually have, for example, the HD rumble shake on the right side or the left side, and the pulse is getting more thicker. Or when you try to drill something that is solid and you can't drill towards it, actually you feel the rebound on that. Or if you're
What?
drilling into jelly, that you'd actually feel like you're drilling into something that is liquid but also solid at the same time. Honestly, it writes itself for a Switch
It's a
port,
no-brainer.
and it's a no-brainer, and the game is just really fun. It has amazing music in it, which hopefully when you're listening to this episode you'll be hearing the music from Drill Dozer as well as Freedom Fighters. And the aesthetics is fun. It is very challenging, so if you're the kind of guy that likes a challenging puzzle platformer, you honestly can't go wrong with Drill Dozer. It's also very bite sized in the levels. They don't take up too much time to actually beat. The boss battles can be a little bit challenging because the boss battles are a puzzle in and of themselves. You have to solve the puzzle before you can actually deal damage. For example, there's this is a very early boss. I think it's the first boss, um, where it has a screw on its back. It'll attack you, and you won't be able to attack it. It's invulnerable, but then it needs to cool down, and it reveals this giant. Um, what did I say? A screw?
They like that.
Yeah, it reveals a giant screw on its back, and then you have to use the drill dozer and switch it, gear it up to level 3 so that you can speed up the process. And only when you've removed the bolt from the back is when you can actually damage it and kick the boss's butt.
For a Game Boy Advance game, this sounds really what, expansive, I think, or like, it has a lot
It
of
is. I
depth to
mean,
it.
it has a lot of depth to it, especially when you when you do the level traversal. Um, it is you have to solve these really complex, like even in the early stuff, when you finally get used to shifting up and getting the gears, they add elements like these jello blocks where you can't destroy them, but you use them to basically climb up a wall, and then you hit reverse on the drill so that it ricochets you off so that you can jump higher, and then use the drill again to grab onto another one so that you can hold on to it and then ricochet yourself up and like keep going up the level, for example.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it has a lot of these things. It has all these cool mechanics where you have to open a door with the drill dozer and you have to shift up to level 3 and hold it long enough so that the gate opens. But in the meantime, something's coming behind you, so you have to work quickly. Otherwise, the enemy gets you. It has so the levels get more intricate as the gameplay goes on. So it is these nice little compact levels, and it has all these puzzles in them, and it is really nice. It ramps up really nicely. It's not punishing in a way that um is unfair. It is fairly paced. So if you don't know how to solve a puzzle, it's on you. And it's a game that you don't necessarily need a walkthrough to get through because everything is laid out for you. As long as you just take the right answers, you'll get through it in a breeze. But the challenge is making the execution work on it.
Oh, I'm kind of
Plus,
surprised by this game.
yeah, it was really fun. I played the Japanese version initially, which honestly, if you can, I would recommend getting that one only for this little thing, and it's not even like it's not game breaking or anything, but when you get the gears in the Japanese version, the main character actually says the number two and the number three, which I felt was missing from the Western version because it doesn't have that. So it doesn't have that extra little feeling of yes, now I have the second gear. Yes, now I have the third gear. Now I can do all these puzzles and get to the next level. It doesn't have that same punch, but the music still has that kick. So yeah, that's just a gripe and a little pet peeve of mine, at least in terms of that. But
Nice.
yeah, if you can get it on Game Boy Advance, get it. It is Game Boy Player compatible. So if you don't want to play it on a Game Boy Advance, you can hook it up to your GameCube and play it there. The controls map over to the Game Boy or to the GameCube controller, and the vibrations translate over,
Wow.
which is really cool. Um, and honestly, I hope more people get to play it so that we can make a loud enough noise for that, so that Game Freak can make a either a sequel or a port of the game because it deserves, at the very least, a port, let alone a sequel.
Here's hoping they do.
Yep, here's hoping they do. So that brings us to the end of another Game Rivals. Thank you guys so much for listening. As always, we appreciate that you're listening to us. Again, don't forget to share this podcast with other people that might enjoy this podcast. Uh, as always, you can find us on any podcasting service. You can find us on Apple Podcast. You can find us on Google Play. You can find us on Anchor, our home our home and place. You can find us on Spotify, on Stitcher, Overcast, or wherever you subscribe to podcasts. You can always send us feedback through our usual email, which is gamerivalsfeedback@gmail.com. You can always send us feedback also through our Twitter channel, which our Twitter feed, which is named game_rivals. I
Underscore.
also have my underscore. That's right. Sorry.
Otherwise, we don't get it.
Otherwise, you don't get it. You can also message me personally. I'm at Maximilian. If you want to at Sean Templar, that's not possible. So just do that through at game rivals, game underscore rivals underscore.
Oh, here we
Almost
go
messed it up there.
again.
And yeah, spread the word. Give us 5-star reviews, so that more people are able to discover us. Um, and you can always leave us a audio feedback through the link in the description of this episode. Um, or if you have the Anchor app on your device of choice, you can do it through there. You don't need an Anchor account to leave a voice message. Just hit the link and leave us a voice message, and maybe you'll even be featured as a fellow game rival.
Period.
Period. So, this has been an extra long special episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As for me, I am Maximilian X,
And I'm Sean Templar.
and we'll see you guys next time.